Hi, my name is Ava, and everyone at my school thought I was the poorest girl in town. They laughed at my old shoes. They mocked my secondhand backpack. Some even called me charity case. What they didn't know was that I was secretly the daughter of one of the richest businessmen in the country, and I was pretending to be poor on purpose. But everything changed the day my biggest bully discovered my secret. My dad owned a billion-dollar company, but he never wanted me to grow up spoiled. So before I started my final year of high school, he made me a deal. If you can spend 1 year living like an ordinary student without telling anyone who you really are, you'll learn who your real friends are. I agreed. Instead of arriving in a luxury car, I took the public bus. Instead of designer clothes, I wore simple outfits from thrift stores. I loved the challenge. Until I met Olivia. She was the most popular girl in school. The moment she looked at my worn-out sneakers, she laughed. "Ooh, did you find those in a trash can?" Everyone burst into laughter. I wanted to answer back, but I stayed quiet. The bullying got worse every week. Someone hid my books. Someone poured juice into my school bag. Every lunch break, I sat alone. The only person who ever spoke to me kindly was Ethan. He wasn't popular. He wasn't rich. But he always smiled. One afternoon, he shared half of his lunch with me. "You don't have to eat alone," he said. For the first time in weeks, I smiled. A month later, our school announced a charity competition. The winning team would receive a huge scholarship. To my surprise, Ethan asked me to be his partner. Olivia laughed. Good luck winning with the poorest girl in school. Everyone laughed again, but Ethan ignored them. We worked every afternoon. Slowly, we became best friends, and I started falling for him. One evening, my father insisted I attend an important business gala. I begged him not to. What if someone from school sees me? He smiled. Then maybe it's time they learn the truth. Reluctantly, I wore a beautiful dress. Our chauffeur picked me up in a black limousine. As we arrived, I froze. Olivia was standing outside with her parents. Her father worked for my dad's company. She stared at me in complete shock. "No, that's impossible." Then my father stepped out. Every businessman at the event greeted him respectfully. "Good evening, Mr. Carter." Olivia's face turned white. The next morning, everyone at school suddenly became nice. People offered to carry my books. They invited me to lunch. Even Olivia apologized. "I'm sorry. I didn't know you were rich." I looked at her. "So if I were still poor, you'd still bully me?" She couldn't answer. I simply walked away. A few days later, Ethan found me sitting outside. I heard everything. I looked down. "So, you're angry?" He smiled. "Why would I be? You're still the same Ava." I almost cried. "Everyone else only likes me because of my money." He laughed. "I liked you before I knew any of that." That's when I realized he was the only real friend I'd made all year. Graduation day finally arrived. The principal announced a surprise guest. "My students, please welcome Mr. Carter." My dad walked onto the stage. Everyone gasped. He smiled at the audience. This year, I watched how every student treated my daughter. The entire hall became silent. I have decided to sponsor scholarships, only for students who showed kindness when they expected nothing in return. He called Ethan's name first. The audience erupted into applause. Olivia lowered her head in embarrassment. After graduation, Ethan and I started dating. We traveled together, volunteered together, and built our own dreams. As for Olivia, she finally learned that money can buy expensive clothes, but it can never buy respect. And that's the day everyone regretted judging the poor girl.